I photographed something at Loch Ness, and it followed me home. I'm telling you this story from a hospital bed in Inverness, and I need you to understand something right now. I will never, ever go near Loch Ness again, not for any amount of money, not even in daylight. What I saw in those photographs, what came for me, it's still out there, and it knows my face. 3 days ago, I was James Crawford, wildlife photographer for National Geographic. I'd spent 15 years capturing grizzlies in Alaska, great whites off Guadalupe Island, even spent a week in a blind photographing Siberian tigers. I wasn't afraid of anything. God, I was so arrogant. The assignment seemed simple enough. 2 weeks at Loch Ness during the autumn spawn, photographing the ecosystem, the migrating birds, maybe some atmospheric shots of the ruins. My editor made a joke. Maybe you'll finally get us proof of Nessie, eh? We both laughed. I should have paid attention to the fact that she didn't meet my eyes when she said it. I set up camp on the eastern shore, near Foyers, where the forest comes right down to the water. Completely isolated, exactly how I like to work. No tourists, no distractions, just me and my equipment. The first 2 days were perfect. Crisp air, mirror-smooth water at dawn, the highlands painted in amber and gold. I got some incredible shots of red deer coming down to drink at sunset. But the water, there was something about the water that bothered me. It was too still, too quiet. I've photographed hundreds of lakes and rivers, and there's always movement. Insects, fish breaking the surface, water birds. But here, nothing disturbed that black surface except the wind. By the third evening, I found myself watching the loch more than photographing it, waiting for, I don't know what. That's when I saw the ripples, about 200 yards offshore, just as the sun was setting, concentric circles spreading out, like something massive had surfaced and gone back down. My heart started racing, not from fear, but excitement. I grabbed my camera, the one with the telephoto lens, and started shooting. Click, 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 click. I must have taken 60 photos in 2 minutes, tracking those ripples as they moved parallel to the shore. Parallel to me. I couldn't see anything in the fading light, but my camera could. That's the beautiful thing about modern equipment. The sensor picks up details the human eye misses. I was shaking with adrenaline as I trudged back to my tent. This could be it. This could be the photograph that defined my career. I made myself some tea, started a small fire, and as full darkness fell over the loch, I sat in my tent and pulled out my laptop to review the shots. The first 10 photos showed just the ripples. Impressive, but nothing conclusive. Photo 11 made me lean closer to the screen. There, just beneath the surface, a dark shape. Massive. At least 20 feet long, maybe more. My hands started trembling. Photo 15. The shape was closer to shore. Maybe 150 yards out now. Photo 23. 100 yards. And I could make out details now. Ridges along what might have been a back. The suggestion of a serpentine neck. I should have been elated. Instead, ice water flooded my veins, because I suddenly realized, in every single photograph, the creature was moving in one direction, toward my position, toward the shore, toward me. My mouth went dry as I clicked through faster now. Photo 30, 75 yards. Photo 38, 50 yards. And now I could see something else, something that made my stomach drop. An eye, huge and dark, and fixed on something above the waterline. Fixed on the shore where I'd been standing. Photo 42, 30 yards out, and the eye was clearer now. Ancient, intelligent. This wasn't some mindless animal. Whatever was in that water was thinking. Photo 47 made me gasp out loud. 20 yards from shore, and I could see the full shape now. A neck rising from the water, thicker than a barrel, covered in dark scales that glistened in the dying sunlight. And behind it, the massive bulk of a body that disappeared into the murky depths. But it was photo 51 that made me drop my laptop. 10 yards from shore. The creature's head was fully visible now, breaking the surface. A long prehistoric snout. Rows of teeth just visible in its half-open mouth. And those eyes, those terrible, knowing eyes, staring directly at my camera, directly at me. The timestamp on photo 51 was 7:47 p.m. I checked my watch with shaking hands. It was 7:52 p.m. 5 minutes ago, my blood turned to ice. I scrolled frantically to the last photos, 54, 55, 56. Each one showed the creature closer. The final photograph, number 60, made me stop breathing. The shore. My shore. Ripples lapping against the rocks where I'd been standing. And there, just at the water's edge, partially emerged from the loch, a head. That massive, prehistoric head. The photo was slightly blurred. I must have been backing away when I took it, but I could see enough. Timestamp, 7:49 p.m., 3 minutes ago. I hadn't gone back to the water after returning to my tent, which meant when I took that last photograph, when that thing reached the shore, I hadn't noticed. Outside my tent, something heavy dragged across gravel. The sound of something massive and wet moving through my campsite. I grabbed my flashlight with trembling hands, my breath coming in short gasps. Then I heard it, a sound I'll never forget, a deep, resonant breathing, patient, deliberate. The smell hit me next, ancient water, rotting vegetation, and something else, something primordial. It was right outside my tent. I made a decision in that split second that saved my life. I didn't scream, didn't run. I slowly, so slowly, reached for my camera and deleted every single photograph. All 60 of them, gone. The breathing stopped. For 10 seconds that felt like hours, there was absolute silence. Then I heard it, that heavy, dragging sound again, moving away from my tent, back toward the water, a massive splash. Then nothing but the wind through the trees. I waited until dawn before I moved. When I finally emerged, there were marks in the gravel. Deep gouges, like something had dragged itself up from the loch and right up to my tent. The impressions were huge, bigger than anything that should exist. The park rangers found me on the road 12 hours later, walking toward Inverness. They said I was hypothermic, delirious. They think I had some kind of breakdown. My equipment is still at that campsite. My editor thinks I've lost my mind. But here's what keeps me awake at night, why I'm telling you this story. I didn't delete all the photographs. In my panic, I missed one. The laptop auto-backed up to the cloud before I could stop it. Photo number 61, one I don't remember taking. It's a close-up shot, taken from inside my tent. The timestamp reads 7:51 p.m., right when I was making that tea, before I'd even looked at the photos. And in the image, you can see the tent fabric, my sleeping bag, my backpack, and reflected in the screen of my laptop, just visible in the darkness. A massive eye, watching me through the tent wall. It had been there the entire time, waiting. watching me look at the photographs of it hunting me. And somehow, it knew the moment I deleted them, the moment I erased the evidence. The doctors say I'm experiencing post-traumatic stress, that I fabricated the whole thing, but they can't explain the gouges in the gravel. They can't explain why my clothes smelled like the bottom of the loch, even though I never went in the water. And they definitely can't explain the marks on my tent. Long, parallel scratches on the outside fabric, like something had gently, carefully run its claws across it, testing the material, testing how easy it would be to get inside. I've thought about that last photograph every day since, that eye reflected in my screen, and I've come to a terrifying conclusion. It wasn't just hunting me that evening. It was studying me, learning what I looked like, what I sounded like, how I behaved. My editor called yesterday. She wants me to go back to recover my equipment. She says it's worth thousands of pounds. I told her no. I told her I'd never go back. But here's the thing that really keeps me awake, the thing I haven't told anyone. That photograph, number 61, the one that auto-saved to the cloud. I've tried to delete it 100 times, but every time I do, it reappears. Different each time. Sometimes it's the same shot from inside the tent. Sometimes it's a new angle. This morning, I found a new one in my cloud storage. It was taken yesterday from outside the hospital, looking up at my window. The doctors want to discharge me tomorrow. They say I'm well enough to go home. But I've been watching the window all night, and just an hour ago, when the night nurse came by, she mentioned something strange. There's been a lot of water on the pavement outside, she said. Like something's leaking, leaves a trail right up to the building, right to this wing. I'm on the 4th floor, and tonight, when the lights went down, I swear I heard it. That patient, deliberate breathing, just outside my door. I think it wants its photograph back. If you enjoyed this story, there are things in this world we were never meant to capture on film. Some secrets the deep waters want to keep, and some creatures, they don't like being seen. Thanks for watching. I hope you consider subscribing for weekly videos.